Hey parents, if you have a kid that's struggling with constipation, chances are you have heard of Miralax. And chances are it's been recommended for your kid because sadly, more often than not, that's the first line of defense, right? You might not be looking for an intervention like that. Maybe you're hoping for more natural options or more intervention-free things, but more often than not, that first option is Miralax. It's taking a medication that has a decent amount of side effects. And this is becoming more and more well known, but it's still so commonly recommended, right? Behavior issues are known to happen with Miralax. Bloating and cramping and belly issues that it's trying to resolve, all of those are all too common side effects for constipation. And the reality is they are not addressing what's actually going on. Miralax is not a solution for this. So if you're a parent whose kid is struggling with that and you are looking for other answers, please tune in for this 5 minutes because I want to give you some hope. Reality of it is that we got to understand that constipation is not caused by a deficiency of Miralax, right? This is not ever going to be a solution. Hopefully, if that's what you're doing for your kid, it's giving you some relief. Hopefully it's improving some of those symptoms and struggles, but I know you don't want that to be a long-term answer. And it's not even recommended. It's supposed to be a temporary short-term use, not an extended long-term thing. So what is going on with Miralax? It is bringing water into your digestive tract. So it softens stools, it gets things moving by sucking extra water and moisture into that GI system. So it's gonna soften it and it's gonna kind of force the issue, right? Because if there's just liquid in there, it's not really going to be held in well. So a kid who's maybe holding for a handful of days at a time and that stool is getting hard and firm, the goal is that that softens everything and forces it. But it ignores really what's at play with constipation. The issue isn't usually that there's not enough water there, it's that utility or that GI motility isn't moving. It's the connection, it's the wiring system. Our brain is sending pathways to our gut all the time, mainly through the vagus nerve, this really important nerve at the top of your neck that controls all of our digestion and our rest and our growth and development functions. That nerve is moving our gut. Think of it like squeezing the toothpaste out of the tube. It's a active process. It doesn't just kind of like fall its way through. It's a smooth muscle contraction. So this peristalsis, that's the name for it, when that's not taking place, things slow down, things get backed up, and then that's when it's gonna harden. That's when it's gonna be then painful or uncomfortable for your kid. So it's not just a water issue, it's really a mobility issue. It's things aren't moving well enough, which is a neurological concern. So that's what we need to understand is more often than not, constipation is not a dehydration issue, it's a neuro issue. So if we ignore that piece of it, we're never gonna get solution. And that's what we wanna do. We wanna intervene at that neurological level. Let's say that we can get the brain and the body communicating as we're supposed to, get that lower GI and pelvis system regulating again, get that vagus nerve moving stuff through our GI system tract, we're gonna not have as many issues, right? We see it time and time again at Thrive. Kids that have had long-term chronic constipation, whether that's babies or toddlers or elementary age kids, we're able to see improvements by just addressing that neurological piece. Now, are there nutritional issues? Are there dietary things that are of concern as well? Absolutely. Please do not ignore that. Don't think, oh, you're just gonna get adjusted and we don't care what we eat, we don't care what we drink, life is gonna be good, all our problems are gonna go away. Chiropractic is gonna be amazing, it's gonna make a difference for your life, but we need to pay attention to that stuff. And I would rather, once we get the nervous system piece figured out, I would rather go that direction than something like a Miralax. Say we're still struggling even after getting that neurological piece taken care of. Well, let's work on the diet. Let's work on making sure we do have enough water and we're getting the electrolyte balance in there as well. Let's make sure we have fiber in our diet, probiotics. And even if we need to force the issue or really bring extra hydration into that lower GI system, something like magnesium can do it so much more effectively without the side effects, without some of the downsides. So we need to think about this differently, guys. Miralax or constipation is not caused by a deficiency in Miralax, so it's never going to fix it, it's never going to cure it, and it's going to have these side effects. Let's address the neurological brain and body communication first, and then look at some of these nutritional deficiencies instead of constantly just putting a temporary Band-Aid on those symptoms. If you want to learn more about Miralax, check out the article that we've linked here. That'll dig into even more of the side effects and what some of the concerns are and what some of the solutions can be. So I hope that helps, guys. Reach out if you have any other questions.